All right, hello everybody. As we got Scott's cat in the thing, Andy Lindahl, Scott Hastings with you again, struggling with the voice. It's been a good time, but
How do you do that every freaking Tuesday? It's like I'm good,
yeah,
and
it's
here
like
this is a
clockwork.
Tuesday.
I don't know. I don't know. My doc says it's tied to the heartburn that the GLP-1 can cause. So I laid off the medicine. I'm supposed to take it because, as you know, my stomach was all screwed up last week. So wanted to make sure that it wasn't the medicine, and then voila, don't have a voice. I don't know, man. I'm gonna start dialing this all down. Hopefully, it'll get normal here soon. Skinny Andy had to pay a price to get skinny, so I don't know. It's been crazy. Whatever. All right. Avs are doing all right. Avs have been off to a pretty nice start here, huh? Did you watch
Well,
any of the game yet?
I have not watched a bit of it. I was listening to radio on the start. I got home. I talked to you earlier. I was watching my grandson tonight, 3 months old, and so I got home, listened to the start of the game on the way over, and then the warden and junior warden are into Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they're
you were
about
giving it a go. You were giving it a
Yeah,
go
I'm
there.
like in season 2, episode 3. They are now on season 3, episode 5, and that big red crawly creatures come alive and oozing through pipes and going down the cities and all that kind of stuff. So
So hold on, they're on the last season already.
no, they're in season 3,
Oh, okay.
but they're in the one where the thing would turn into people and whatever. But also I'm staring at it and they go, oh, because you got a late start school tomorrow. So I goes, maybe one more, because I was going to go up and take a shower. I'd have been in the shower. And okay, I'll stay and watch it until I get a call from you. Oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Yeah,
Well, you
I
guys are in the
almost
best
missed it.
season. I will tell you that. I think season three is probably the best season. Season four is pretty good. Season one, I thought they did a good job for the first season, but yeah, I've told you, season five is almost. Yeah, you can almost not watch it.
It took me a while to get into season 1, but by the end it got me. Season 2 started off a little slow, just because you think you killed the monster in season 1, and here we go starting over. So you're like,
Well, I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know if you lost me, if you lost Scott. Hopefully, Scott's going to be back here in a second. Yeah, I don't know if you're into Stranger Things. Hit us in the comments. Like I said, I don't know. I'll just give you my quick thoughts that whatever it is what it is, and I don't know. I haven't enjoyed it quite as much as I don't know. I thought the ending kind of just crapped out and has nothing to do with any of the weird stuff that goes on. It's yeah, okay. I've got to double check my feed and make sure you got one of us at least. So it looks like you got me, and hopefully we'll get Scott back. And it may be because they're streaming. Yeah. Sorry about the voice. I'm doing the best I can to get the voice back and going. So hopefully, I don't know. Scotty's trying to text me. I love it when it goes down. I don't know. Sorry, live TV, live YouTube. So anyway, hopefully we'll get this all figured out and he'll join us. Yeah, look. Hi, Marie. I'm trying to listen to the game. I was trying to stream the game. I wanted to make sure it wasn't my stream that was killing them. So maybe I need to send another invite. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about the Avalanche? I guess my question would be to everybody out there. We're worried about the Nugs, the Avs. I mean, the way the Nugs or the Avs are playing, and I don't know how you could be real worried about them. Looks like they've got a pretty good thing going on, at least right now. So they came out like a house of fire. They've scored first the last couple games. I think that's been a big deal. Um, so as long as they score first, they have a phenomenal record. Trying to get Scotty back, I promise. But I think this little stretch for the Avs is going to be good for them. I really do. There he is. Let's put him back on. There we go.
I was on the whole time. I
Not
could see
according to the
you.
YouTube channel.
It says you put me in the backstage.
Okay.
You went and took your boss cap. You're wearing your boss cap tonight, and you put me into the backstage somehow.
No, I didn't.
Well,
Here we go. We're here. It's all that matters. Let me ask you this. Because the Avs are out there. They're up to nothing. And I started streaming them, so I'm not going to stream them anymore just to be safe. Avs up 2-0. They got the first goal last night. Rycroft has said the last couple of nights they're an amazing team when they actually score first. Do you think, Scotty, that this little stretch of hockey where they've been a little up and down right before the break and then they come back and again, look, they're winning games, but they're not playing as good as they are. I think this is good for them. I think getting a good look at what they really are is good because now McFarland came out and he said, "Hey, look, we're leaving no stone unturned. Defensive depth, big powerful forward. Rumors of O'Reilly or Kadri coming back to the team. I think if they had kept playing at the rate they were playing to start the year, I don't think they're worried about making trades. I think this little rough patch, if you want to call it that, because they're still the best team in the league, but I think the rough patch helps them take a look critically at their team and hopefully add some pieces needed so we don't have another disappointment."
and I said this today on the radio show. They get to do it from a place of power,
Right.
in the sense that they've got enough spread that they can try something. Right? I mean, you get rid of Sam Girard because you think you need another bigger defenseman that you can match and miss, pair up with different people up and down the line. That's good. I think the Olympics, although it was great hockey, I think it was distraction. I think part of that was a distraction for the team getting ready because as they're getting ready to go, okay, you got a week before the Olympics. I guarantee you every guy's in communication with their country, either Team Canada, Team Finland, whatever it is, and they're booming and boom, and they're doing all this stuff. So I thought they played a little distracted, for the most part. And I also say this: before the Olympic break, you didn't have Gabe Landeskog for 2 or 3 weeks before that, and I'm telling you, man, I remember having this conversation the start of the season before maybe the year they won it, and I said I think because we got all these stars and Kadri I think had 86 points that year, and McKinnon did McKinnon stuff, McCarr was doing McCarr stuff. I said we take for granted Gabriel Landeskog and what he means to this team, and I think that still holds true. I firmly do. He's back. You get an ugly win in LA. You seem to be handling business tonight. Here we go. Let's go. And let's see. And I think they will add a piece. But
Oh, I think they may even add two. We'll have to see.
well, with the Gerard trade, right, you saved $3 or $4 million this year on the cap. And as we've talked about on this show before, the salary cap in the NHL is so screwy. It's not okay. They're 1 million under the cap, and you're good for the rest of the year with 1 million under the cap. It's oh no, if you put this lineup in, you go 500 over, or this lineup you're 5 million under, and so it's really a unique way how hockey does it. I mean, you could put a guy, and teams have done this, right? Didn't Vegas do this a few years ago?
Oh, yeah.
That long time IL guy doesn't play all year, would have sent you about $12 million over the cap, and then oops, oh by the way, he's eligible for the playoffs.
He's good to go now. He's coming back. No
What,
cap in the playoffs.
wasn't it Vegas that did that? Wasn't it
Yeah.
Vegas who did that a few years ago?
Yeah.
So they're fine. They can add a piece. The only thing they really need to improve on, I thought, they're too good of a team. They're the best team in hockey, and they've got the worst power play in hockey. That's just nonsense right there.
Although they do have one tonight. They did get a power play goal tonight. So that was good. But I'm with you. You got to get better. Minnesota, he had a chance of the power play at the end. Nobody got in front of the Minnesota goalie. I'm spacing his name, but and literally one time they had a shot and Natchez is like backing out of the eyes of the goalie trying to tip it. Now, dude, you got to stay in front of that shot. That's what you got to do. So
Well,
can't back
Dan
out of
Tanner,
that.
Dan Tanner found a great stat that when Kadri was here last year, they won it. Their power play, and he was on the first team power play, was at 24.8% or something like that, which was top 6 or 7 in the league for the season. And when the playoffs started, they went up to 30 plus, and led all the playoffs in power play goals. They were the best power play unit in the playoffs. So they raised it from 24, which was 6 or 7, to over 30 in the postseason as far as scoring goals per power play. Um, Dude, they get float up around there again. Watch out. I mean, where's their deficiency after that?
Well, I'm excited to see what they do. Again, the trade deadline's coming up this Friday, 2 o'clock our time. So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to move forward. A lot of rumors out there. Frankly, I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan O'Reilly back here. I think that's the exact kind of tough hockey, you know, face-off guy. Go get in front of the net, become a crease creature, as they like to say. Just knocking pucks home, causing problems, being gritty, being a pest.
Who
I'd
was
love to
the
see it.
GM when O'Reilly left?
Um, Whoever was before Sakic, it was not Sakic, I don't believe.
It seems like it got a little contentious.
It did.
Remember his dad got involved, and his dad was doing all this stuff in the press.
Well, but remember, everything got weird too. Some of that was Stasny too. Look, it got weird because he wanted to be paid more than Duchesne, and Duchesne was the captain or assistant captain, whatever. Duchesne, I remember because I got along with Matt, and I talked to Matt about it one time after he had been on my show on KOA, and I guess Matt just didn't feel like O'Reilly should have been asking for more money than what he was about to get, and things got weird. And Gabe shows up. Gabe gets the captaincy. I think both O'Reilly and Duchesne were jealous of that. It got weird, man. It got weird, but that's ancient history. Everybody wants another cup, right? Get together, put it aside, go get your cup. Go get your cup, period. So now O'Reilly has one with the Blues, but I'm sure he wants another one. So,
Well, why not come back here and listen, man? When he was here, and I know Duchesne was the fancy guy, but I always thought O'Reilly was one of the, if not the best player. Duchesne was slicker and was scoring more goals there, but O'Reilly's kind of your kind of hockey player.
yeah, he's gritty. I like him. He's sandpapery. He's like Mike Keane was to the original Cup team.
But now,
Just,
but how old's O'Reilly? He's got to be getting up there a little
oh
bit.
yeah, he's mid-30s. This is not a long-term solution. Scotty, we're done with this. I mean, this is what I love about it. They moved Gerard, and they're going to re-sign McCarr, but clock's ticking. It's becoming late. It's time to go get some guys that can help you win a cup. Period. Frankly, the Nuggets need to adopt this philosophy too. It's time to just make the moves. It's funny because Nate and I were talking about this going back, and Calvin Booth, as you guys played it on your show, we played it on our show. Calvin Booth talking about, well, I made this look easier, that look easier, this, that, whatever. Look, when Calvin Booth said, I'm worried about winning 3 or 4 more, not just next year, boy, you look back at it now, see what Oklahoma City's become, see what San Antonio, I think, is becoming. And maybe really, to Michael Malone's point, they should have just worried about winning it the year after they won it. I think you had even privately kind of quietly said that to me, that when you got a team and it feels like guys are healthy, you maybe just need to go for it.
You should.
And looking back at it now, that's probably what they should have done.
All in to win back to back, and then if you don't, then you could kind of do something. I mean, for a guy who said, to be honest with you, we're going to try to win 3 of the next 5 or whatever it was, then the draft, when you have 3 second-round draft picks, guess what you don't do? You don't take 3 second-round draft points. You trade it out for future stuff and blah, 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 and try to build something, down the line. He got rid of a first round or something like that to get out of a contract. And I listen, they don't win a championship if Tim Colley doesn't leave. I firmly believe this, and I like Tim, but he had a team. He liked his team. I'm not sure, you know, what guys are going to be out of here. I thought Calvin came in and made a splash. You got KCP, you got Bruce Brown, you got Jeff Green, and you drafted Christian Brown. And all four of those were big for you in the postseason. All four of those guys were monster for you in the postseason. Um, but what since then? You know, Casey or Bruce Brown walked, Jeff Green walked, KCP walked in 2 years, and you never filled those holes up ever. You drafted 3 second round guys, signed them to contracts, and you know now what? So he got the thing done, but then I don't know. It'd been nice if he could communicate a little better and be able to share. Everybody, okay, here's my plan. Here's what I was thinking about. We need to do, but he didn't ever really do that.
Yeah, again, looking back at it, I wish they would have just worried about getting one more because Oklahoma City is, they've become a monster quicker than many probably thought, and San Antonio looks like they've got the makings for a pretty tough team. And
Well, listen though, Oklahoma City and even San Antonio's done it with homegrown. I mean,
right,
they both kind of sucked, and Denver hasn't done that. They kind of sucked for a year or two, made trades, get rid of pieces, get rid of Durant's and
James Harden and Russell
Russell
Westbrook,
Westbrook,
and
and start collecting. Okay, a first this year and a first in 26, first this year and a first in 24. Then all of a sudden, those things come due eventually. Um, they did a good job. They foresaw everything, and Denver just hasn't done that. Now, if Denver doesn't win it this year, they go out early. You probably ought to think about, if you're the GMs, the two new GMs, ought to think about, is there one or two of our good pieces that we can get, a first round pick, a future first round pick, or something else involved.
yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Look, it's going to be an interesting. We're up for another interesting spring, right? You've been around the team? Are they in a better mind space talking about the Nuggets now than they were a year ago, or
Yeah, I don't
what
think
do you make of where they're at?
there's nothing wrong with their mind space other than their tired team.
Right,
And all the injuries in the middle of the year, basically you're asking guys that are 15, 12, 15, 18 minutes a night players to play 25, 30. I think that's probably one of the reasons you end up wearing out, Peyton Watson even. He's a 22, 24 minute a night guy, and he's playing 41. And I just, and you and I've had those conversations. Reggie Jackson, that year they brought him in about 18 minutes a night, back up Jamal. Jamal goes down for 2 months. He starts like 30-some games. And by the second half of the season, he didn't have no legs. He admitted it. He said, I was done. So that happens. Now, Reggie was a little older, but we will see, man. We will see. They've had to play awful small. I'm actually, I'll be honest with you, and I know there's been some struggles. They, well, your Joker's back, and everybody thought it was just going to be ice cream right away. Um, and I heard you talk about today, and I think I've talked with you. Yeah, you look at some of his turnovers. I mean, I throw you the ball, you got it in your hands, it goes through your hands, it goes out of bounds. I get the turnover. But you as an athlete know, and I know, I got to catch that ball. A quarterback throws a wide receiver above his hands. Now they're counting drops, but guess what? It's still 0 for 1 with that quarterback, isn't it? That's a good pass. And so he's getting one or two of those tonight. He had one in Utah in the first half. Pickett's cutting the lane, wide open. Joker throws it, and Pickett stops. I mean, literally just stops. And the guy chasing him just ran through him and knocked the ball and steal. And I'm like, and you can see Joker, and I heard you talk about with Nate today. You're like, come on, man. You're open. Cut to the basket, boom, 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 right there. Maybe you get a quick layup. Maybe you get a block from behind. But we got a play going. We're forcing the issue in the paint. And he just stopped. So,
well, and look, I know you've talked to me about it, and Caffrey's talked to me about it. Terrell Davis has talked to me about it. when you go through your first major injury, and that's, I guess, from what I understand, Joker's first major injury, I do feel now it's lessening as we go along, but I do feel when you watch him from afar, he looks like he's a little more aware of people around him, right? And look, I understand why I was upset the other night about Lou Dort. You throw a hip check at my bad knee,
Right.
I'm not going to respond to you very well, right? So,
Well,
um,
and what everybody misses, if you go back early, they went after that leg 3 times, two other times before the Lou Dort. Finally, he'd had enough. Lou Dort did it one other time, and that Williams kid did it one time. Went right at that leg and backed into it and fallen down almost like a cross body block. Um, so was it intentional? Was it just accidental? Happened in game? I don't know. But if you're a Joker and you got a bad left leg and these dudes keep trying to pop you on it, what are you thinking? But one time, okay, 2 times, come on, man, 3 times, and you purposely stop and kind of jump backwards to hit him. What are you thinking?
yeah,
I give him a
well,
lot of credit for not punching the guy.
yeah.
My era that'd have been a Donnybrook.
Oh,
I mean
I know what your era would look like. I
that'd have
grew
been
up in that era.
Donnybrook. And as soon as you're seeing somebody swinging at your top guy, you're going out looking at the nearest guy at the pile.
Your era influenced me, period. But that was just how things were then. It's not that.
No,
Look, you and I were talking about it with Nate and Crosstalk yesterday, and I get it. It's not that kind of era anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't think it shouldn't be that kind of era. I do think you ought to take care of your best player. I do think someone else could stand up for somebody there. Shouldn't just be on him all the time. And I do think, frankly, if Aaron Gordon was there, things would look different.
I don't disagree. And what did you and Nate talk about today? They played last night's game, and everybody, they should have killed them better. Okay, whatever. Um, they didn't have any forwards. It's Joker and 4 guards every night.
In 3 games, 3 nights, three games, 4 nights, 3 cities.
Yeah, and it's Joker and 4 guards.
Yep.
Is Julian Strother going to hit somebody?
No.
James Pickett going to hit somebody?
No.
And Bruce Brown's a tough guy.
No, he is, but
but
that's a lightweight compared to the
Tim
NBA
Hardaway,
heavyweights.
yeah, you're talking only who? Who's going to set screens? I always say you pop him with the screen. I agree with you 100%. Who?
But we don't have anybody. We should. I mean, I'd like to believe Zeke Naji with the way he's put together could set a hard screen, but I just don't think its personality is. So
I'll just say 2 words to you, and I'll leave it at that. You ready? Boss Bailey.
yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Do you want a Boss Bailey or a Danny Trevathan?
Give me a boss or give me a Danny Trevathan. I'm also trying to hear Moses call to see if we just scored again. There was something going on. My brother-in-law Rob, I want you to say hi to Rob. Say hi to Rob. He's a big Cleveland. He's a Cleveland fan.
Hey Rob, how are you?
Did you like playing Cleveland when you were a Piston? Was there a thing there?
They sucked. Cleveland sucked most of my career. In fact, that was always the big joke. If you screwed around, the team didn't like you, they trade you to Cleveland.
Right.
It was the dumpiest city that we visited. The stadium was way out in the boonies. You stayed at a Holiday Inn about 5 miles from this arena. I mean, it literally was stuck out in the boonies. It had a Dairy Queen across the street from the hotel, the Holiday Inn. So, and it was a brazier, so you could go over there and get a hot dog or a hamburger. And that was our pregame meal, right? And you just hope it wasn't 2 feet of snow when you had to walk over to get a soda and a hamburger. But now it's downtown, stayed in a nice place, bing, much better. Although downtown is dead.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what they're doing in Cleveland. I didn't enjoy my one road trip there with the Broncos. That was for although we had a good time in Canton that one year in the summer. That was different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, it's better than the city of Oklahoma City. That place is dead. You ain't got nothing going on there. Ain't nothing going on in Oklahoma City worth having.
You go down to Bricktown.
Now, good for you. Still got to live in Oklahoma City.
I love Oklahoma. I'd live in Oklahoma City in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Well, you ain't never been there.
I have been there.
You ain't been there. What do you?
Yeah,
been?
when we played OU, we stayed in Oklahoma City with the Buffs.
Why'd you stay in?
I don't know, man. That's what they wanted us to do.
Was it about 35, 45 minutes away?
Yeah, it was a pretty good little bus ride.
Yeah.
Pretty good little bus ride. So, but that's what they wanted to do. That's what it was all about.
Low property tax, low state income tax. Gets hot as heck in the summertime.
Yeah, tornadoes. Who do you again, we keep hearing that hopefully the plan has been Gordon and Watson back by maybe this weekend. Do you think that happens? Do you have any updates or will you maybe get one when you get back to the arena Thursday?
David said I'd like to get him back for 20 games. Well, that 20 games left, which is a quarter of the season. 20 games is Thursday night against LA. So,
and he's not going to play. I don't think either one of those guys that play back-to-back nights, and you're definitely going to want him for Monday versus OKC.
Well, so you play Thursday, Friday. That way you'd have Saturday, Sunday.
Would you maybe stagger Watson and Gordon and maybe have Gordon one night, Watson the next?
Maybe bring P-Watt in one of the games and Gordon the next. Maybe.
Just for the sake of having at least one of them.
One more body, yeah. Listen, I don't know. But in Utah, the pregame, someone asked that question, and he goes, I know I use the number 20 games. I said, let me be honest with you, I hope I can get at least 15 with them. So I don't know. I did talk to someone, and they say there's days they look great, and there's days that it's a struggle. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I am not worried about this team if they are 100% healthy. I really am not. I think whoever they play, and you're talking about there's 4 dogs, in my opinion, in the West. 5 if you want to count Houston. But Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and who's the other one? I had another one in there. Oh, Minnesota, maybe.
Okay. What do you think of Houston?
I think Houston's good. Listen, I think we're better than Houston and Minnesota. Problem is Minnesota that coach staff just seems to know something about us. Although, we beat them 3-1 this year, right? I mean, they did beat us the other day.
Yeah, you lost him without Aaron Gordon and P-Watt, and that hurts, but,
And Cam Johnson had arguably, as he said, his worst game of his career. So it'll be a heck of a match. San Antonio, how about this? You got 20 games left in the season. You haven't played San Antonio.
I know you got three with San Antonio down the stretch.
Yeah, the
2 more with Utah.
Yeah. I think San Antonio's good. Oklahoma City didn't want San Antonio. San Antonio beat them three times.
Yeah. Well, they got size. That's the problem. Nuggets, it goes back to what you even talked about last night. They really don't have any size.
Yeah.
How do you think the Jonas, the Valanciunas and Joker thing worked? What do you think about that?
It was
I
okay.
love it. I want it to work, but
it's okay. Here's the problem. And besides Wemby being 7'4", Wemby's more mobile, and now he throws 7'4", mobile and 7'4". Joker's got the greatest hands in the league, and has unbelievable timing, but he's not super mobile, and he's not a high riser, right? So, and I heard you guys again talking today. You get by that first line, if he doesn't have a good angle on you, you're getting layups over him. People aren't afraid to go up over Joker, just like they weren't afraid to go up over me. So you don't really have an intimidating shot blocker. Now, with Peyton Watson's in there, and if he's in the game on that weak side, I mean, he's flying over, erasing a lot of errors, isn't he? I think Peyton Watson plays last night. He probably gets 1 or 2 blocks on the young kid going in there like crazy. But you don't. But like I said, if they're 100% healthy, I think it's going to be a hell of a Western Conference playoff run. I mean, I think it's going to be good games. It's going to be it's going to be some games, man. I think even the first round's going to be some games. But if Denver's 100% healthy, I think they got a chance. If they're not, I don't know how much chance they have.
What team are you more? I don't know whether you want to go positive or negative. What team are you more confident in, Avs or Nuggets?
Well, Habs right now.
Okay.
Although you saw Lekkinen on the pregame show today, Bednar says he's week to week.
Right. I hate the week to week.
Yeah, day to day sure gives you a little more hope than week to week.
Even when they say day to day, it's still about a week or two sometimes. When they say week to week, it can be a month.
Yeah.
I hate when I hear week to week. Don't want to hear that.
Yeah. So, and he's been good for him. But, get him healthy now. You still got what, 22 games left, something like that, 23 left of the season. So you got time. And it seems like hockey because it's all about lines, and you're always rotating lines in and out. In hockey, it's about the individual getting his legs underneath him so he can skate. They seem to figure and mesh in a lot easier. In basketball, you got to get the legs in, but then you got to get the chemistry with the guys who are in there. It just seems like it's smoother in hockey.
Yeah. Yeah. I also feel like the Avs just have a better chemistry right now. Again, like, here's what stinks. Going back to your comment of maybe they only get 15 games in with a healthy Aaron Gordon or a healthy Gordon and Watson. This team needs not only to get its chemistry right for themselves, they need to get the chemistry right amongst the second unit and get the new guys integrated. And now it just feels like you're not going to have time to really do that.
When you say
That's really what this regular season was supposed to be about.
But what does that mean to you when you say get the chemistry right?
Me being able to know what you're kind of doing without us having to think too much about it. Me giving you a look and kind of know what you're up to. Running a play enough. It goes back to what I said about why I hated the fourth down call by Sean Payton in the playoffs. Jared Stidham has not run that fourth down play. Jared Stidham has not got to look at a lot of defenses when they put that personnel in there. That's why I would not have put him in a situation where he had to convert a fourth down. I just don't care. Jared Stidham did not recognize they had switched to zone because of the personnel you put in, because they knew you're going to try to run a pick play and get something open in the flat. So, again, Bo Nix probably would have recognized that, and Bo Nix probably would have switched to something else or would have called a timeout or just would have done something different, period, if he wouldn't have just picked up the first down already as it was. So, like, I even saw last night, going back to the Val Joker thing, where they're sitting there and they're talking to each other. There's a free throw and they were talking to each other for a prolonged minute before they step back to each side of the block that they were on to get the rebound. You know what I'm saying? Clearly kind of talking out something, right? Instead of, look, I'll go to the great story Mark Schler told us. He said that he and Tom Nalen would go to the line, get down, and if they saw a certain front, one of them would just go shooby dooby doo up, and it just meant we're going to high low these guys and switch up what we're doing. I'm going to go get, we're going to do, what's that, a stunt. We're going to do a little bit of a stunt. I'm going to go get your guy and you're going to go get mine because of the way that they're set up. And all it took was that stupid little lyric from pop music, for them to know what they wanted to do. I just don't know that you got a lot of that going on with the Nuggets right now.
Yeah. Well,
even the Joker Murray thing feels a little off. But again, you know what? Scott, this probably all looks different. And Joker has his reliable dunker, Aaron Gordon, who he knows is going to cut backside as soon as it's cleared. And he can throw it to them every time.
Right. That's true.
Which other guys are not doing. Bruce Brown did it one time last night. But you tell me who else is coming in on that backside open lane when everybody goes to mug Joker. And that's how Joker kept these guys off of him. He could throw the ball and burn you enough on the backside. Well, now you're not collapsing on me anymore.
No. Well,
but nobody's been doing
guys it. Guys on the other side are just standing there.
Or they're hanging out in the three-point corner and then missing the friggin' three-pointer to the point where I feel like he's like, I'm not giving you the ball there. You're not making the shot.
I always told my kids when I coach, as far as you got to find gaps, you got to find eye windows. I said, if you can't see a guy that's getting double teams' eyes, guess what they can't do? See you.
Right.
You got to move to where they can see you. I mean, Strahler gets over there, and Porter would do that too, and just get planted. And you're like, dog, all you got to do is move a little bit. But there's a big difference being the dunker spot, being Aaron Gordon, and being Bruce Brown. And I think and listen, Bruce played fine. I'm okay with how Bruce played. He competes every night. He don't necessarily have these blow-up games on you, but God dang, he ain't afraid to get after guys, is he? I mean,
Listen, he scraps. He's what they call in hockey sandpaper.
Yeah.
But he ain't Aaron Gordon.
But he ain't Aaron Gordon on the offense. Yeah. Listen, they're going to be fine if Aaron Gordon's healthy. If Aaron Gordon's not healthy, then I'm going to tell you what, you probably have to have a really serious conversation next year about either replacing or make sure you definitely have a backup that can play that position. And it'll be interesting. We always said this when you and I were on. They ought to trade Sam Girard 2 years ago, right? And everybody goes, why? They go, well, you got salary, you got the match, and if you're going to get something good, you got to give up something good. It was never about Sam Girard couldn't play. Sam Girard's a hell of a player, but it wasn't about that. That was one of the guys that was a good player that people wanted. That okay, I could part with, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey, let's go get this guy, and get rid of Nathan McKinnon, or let's go get rid of Cale McCarr. It's just Sam. To get good, you're going to have to get rid of good. It just that's how it is. Most teams aren't going to trade you Kevin Durant for Jalen Pickett.
Well, and that's because you and I know when you say trade a guy to get something of value, people think you're saying that he sucks. No, I'm telling you, he's the best player we got that we can live without. Period.
He's the best player we got. We can live without and get value. Like I said, if you could go and trade Jalen Pickett for Kevin Durant, I'd do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you. Right. I would too.
Yeah.
Or Zeke Naji. You know what? I'll throw in Zeke Naji too.
Yeah. Why can't they just trade Zeke Naji for Kevin Durant?
It's not how it works.
No.
So
that's where they are. But like I said, if he comes back healthy, it's gonna be a fun run. You won't want to miss the playoffs. But if he's not healthy, then Joker and Jamal are going to have to be superhumans, and they're going to have one more guy. They're going to have to be one guy. Bruce Brown, I think that year they won it, averaged 9.8 and averaged close to 14 in the playoffs. You're going to have one or two guys like that. Somebody that averaged 11, that also in the playoffs are averaging 20.
You're right. That just turns into something different in the playoff, right?
Yep.
Because that's basically what Bruce Brown did during their run to the championship. He was very good during the regular season. He became so clutch during their playoff run. He would come in there, he'd calm things down. He did a 3. Look, you know what? It's great to get Bruce Brown back, but you still are missing a KCP. I think you still miss a bit of toughness from KCP that you haven't replaced yet. Because look, and I know you understand me, but I think a lot of people misunderstand me. You know what I used to tell? I'm gonna use a lacrosse example because I used to tell this to my players, and I would talk to my smaller guys about being tough, being not fun to play against, and I used to tell them, I don't need you to run somebody over. You can be a guy I don't want covering me simply by taking your stick, and I'm sure there's a basketball correlation to this where if I'm trying to cradle and look things over with my stick and I'm just poking you, I'm just bothering you, I'm slapping your hand, everything's legal, but I'm all up in your hands and you can't, I'm making you step back because you don't want me in your kitchen bugging the shit out of you. Well, who does that defensively for us? Everybody, you kept talking about drop defense, hang back. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray, every game, every team they play, boom, one or two guys, as soon as you cross midcourt, there I am. And now he's trying to, where's Joker? I can't get a clean pass. No one else is moving. KCP was that dude that if we needed somebody to, in this case, go get SGA as soon as he crosses midcourt, that's the dude you're asking to go do it. They ain't got that guy right now. Who is that? Like last night, who was that? Who was young? Who was the young cat that was going off for them?
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
Who would you even throw at that guy? I kept thinking to myself, who the hell is even supposed to go play defense on him? You don't have anybody.
Bruce Brown is the closest guy that will do that now. Christian will do it. Remember how he used to play Harden, but I don't. I would say this. I don't think he's 100% healthy either. I think he's better than he was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, but I still think he's probably rocking about 85, 90%. You don't see the explosion that you saw before this ankle injury, but he could do it. The problem is here's another thing, and again, I'm just going off what listening to you guys' show driving home today. Um, I love all these people say, well, they just got to be better defense. They've got to do this. Every coach I've talked to, guess what they know? They know. Every coach I've talked to, yeah, I know. Who? Kind of what you're talking about. Not just the aggressive nature you're talking about. Who's quick enough to stay in front of somebody on this team?
Yeah, it doesn't look like many right now.
That's why the KJ Simpson was such an interesting thing. It'll be an interesting kid to watch over the next, the summer and training camp and everything else, because they don't have anybody that quick.
No.
This is a slow team. It's amazing. They're the number one efficient team in all of basketball, and they really don't have a lot of team speed. They really, really don't. There was 3 or 4 guys on Utah's team, all young guys that were faster than what Denver brings at you, don't they?
Yeah, it looked like the whole team
okay.
was faster last night because you know what? They were young guys that are having fun playing basketball. The Jazz were a team having fun probably for the first time in a while playing basketball last night.
You gave them hope, but
I know you said it. But Scotty, how many times did you say they're either going to the hoop and getting a layup or they're shooting threes? You didn't make them run an offense. You didn't make them work for much. You finally made them work at the end.
Tell me how you do that.
You tell me. I don't know.
If you can't stay in front of anybody because you're not quick enough to stay in front of anybody, how do you play defense?
That's where you had said maybe the zone was, because I know Marlo asked you, you're like, look, the zone is, but I feel like the zone is not something you can do the whole game. It's not going to work, especially if they're going to hit threes like they were hitting last night.
No,
they're going to shoot you out of that zone defense.
They lack a little team speed, and they don't have a lot of practice time. So I think David Adams is smart. He tries to go the zone when they're getting killed going to the basket. He'll finally drop that zone in because now it's easier to cut the lanes out. But now you got guys, and I watch all the time, and I could just throw names out left and right. But you got a guy who will get screened up high, and you got the 3-corner shooters at 44%, and the guy at the wings at 34 at best. He just sprints to the wing. You left 45 in the corner. And by the way, the corner is the easiest one to hit, so he might be a 43 in the season. He may be 58 in the corner. And you just sprint to the wing? Why? What are you doing? Fake at him and then cut back to the corner and get there when the ball gets there. Instead, these guys just run back and play defense on the wing. And I'm like, so now you want your 7-foot, 290-pound center, who's supposed to be in the middle of the lane to help protect the lane, is going to fly 30 feet away. And now when he does fly 30 feet away, if he makes it, everybody goes, oh, Joker's so slow. What did he get out there? He ain't supposed to get out there.
Right, that isn't his cover.
It's an emergency cover if he goes out there. Now, let's say the guy misses it. Okay, Joker challenge, the guy misses it. Who's getting the rebound? One of your 4 guards? Jamal's a good rebounder for his size, but now you have Jamal go against their center from last night. Who's getting the rebound? So you got to be cool. You got to be listening. You want to be a good defense team. You got to be smart. You got to be unselfish, and you got to be quick. I think they're unselfish.
Well, I'll also say this: if you're going to be a great offensive team, because this is one of the things Hyatt talked about that really stuck with me, and you know me, I'm not the biggest stat guy, but I had said for as good an offensive team as they are, and I'm paraphrasing, they turn the ball over way too much. They cannot afford to turn the ball over like they do and not get possessions if they're not going to play good D. You got to be able to get shots up. Too many times they have empty possessions or not hit your free throws, right? Who was it? I really thought Joker misses one free throw, and I'm like, man, if that's a free throw that costs them the game, that's going to be really frustrating, you know? So, oh
Well,
well.
they treat those well last night. They gave up 27 points off of turnovers. And yeah, why are they having a close game? Well, there you go.
Yeah, can't do it.
You give a team that's got 18 wins, 27 tends to be on turnovers because it seems to always happen free throw line extended. And now it's always 3-on-2, 2-on-1, 3-on-1 going the other way. And it's just, we used to have to do extra drills. We ran a 3-on-2 down, 2-on-1 back drill. And Hubie's saying you want a great shot every time on 3-on-2. There's no reason not to. And 2-on-1, you should get a layup. So
All
that's
right.
all I'm doing.
By the way, shout out to our guy, DBL. I think he's the only actual Denver guy in the YouTube chat. Oklahoma City fans are having their fun in there. Here's a question for Marie, and I think it's who's working on turnovers, Scotty? Marie, they don't have time to work on anything. Scotty said it on his show about 1,000 times. There's no practice time with this new dumbass schedule that's got him flying. And what I mean, Michael Malone's talked about it. I think David Adams talked about it. You've talked about it on the podcast. You know what a practice is in the NBA these days? Going into a ballroom at a hotel and walking through a couple things. That in real practice. We've all had to do that with our high school teams or whatever, where we go into a gym. Like for me with lacrosse, it was let's go into the gym and we'll at least try to work on some formations. But you ain't going fast. There's not enough room to do what you got to do in there. Ain't nobody going live. You're not getting muscle memory worked out that way. There's no time to work on this crap because they're flying to a city every other night. And this is every NBA team, not just the Nuggets.
I remember having to do a walkthrough in a ballroom before with Atlanta. I did it with New York too with Hubie. And somebody got a roll of tape from the trainer because we didn't used to travel with balls or whatever. And or the guy left them up in the room. I don't know. They're too lazy to go get them. They sit there and make a big ball out of tape, and you use that as your pass around for your shoot around. A ball of tape.
I know, dude. It's.
But they got
it is what it is.
They got the day off. They'll actually get a day of practice tomorrow. That'll be good. Late game Thursday, so they should get a real shoot around on Thursday as well. But again, you play Lakers Thursday next Friday. You aren't going to have any preparation time for the Knicks. And then you'll probably get. Oh, I don't know what they'll do. They may give you Saturday off, do just treatment. Then Sunday you'll have a practice probably, and then fly to OKC. By the way, set your clocks back right on Sunday.
Set them forward. Don't set them back. Set them forward.
Set them forward. So lose an hour of sleep.
Yeah, but the good news is now when you play at OKC, it'll feel like 6 o'clock your time. You'll be golden.
Well, you hope
because it'll be 7 o'clock OKC time.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, this is kind of an interesting question. He says, basically, he's asking if you lose in the first round in 5 games, what happens? First off, I don't think that'll happen if they're healthy. But he says, is it too hard to build a roster around Jokic? No, it's not too hard to build a roster around Jokic. It's too hard to build the roster with the salary cap. It's not about Joker. It's about the fact that you gave a bunch of money to a bunch of dudes and then they changed the rules. And you haven't necessarily drafted well because the coach and GM the last few years weren't talking to anybody, or they weren't talking to each other. So they didn't agree on the kind of player they were supposed to bring in. So then you got Calvin Booth bringing in guys that he likes, and Michael Malone clearly didn't want to play, so he didn't play them. So you haven't developed any young guys. Again, the OKCs, the San Antonios, Houston to a point, these are all teams. The Jazz are on their way to building it. They've all got young guys that they drafted, and they've agreed what they wanted to do. OKC knows the kind of player that they want, and they got a team full of them.
Detroit, who's killing in the East, same way.
Yeah.
Right? You really haven't had, if you think about it, and you tell me what it would do in football. You haven't had a successful draft since 22.
what it would do in football, it looked like the Broncos from about 2017 to 2022.
So if I mean they've gone 3 years without having a significant draft. To be honest with you, 22 you got Peyton Watson and Christian Brown. All right, I don't know if either one will be stars, but they could be good core, solid core guys for you, right? And valuable. To be honest with you, like we talked about with Gerard, and valuable and not killing you price wise, that you couldn't move them and probably get something good back from them.
Look, you just kind of hinted at it. Do you want to be able to build a different team around Jokic? You got to trade Gordon. You may even have to trade Murray. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. But again, with these aprons and the different levels and whatever, see, this is part of the problem. This is where you're stuck. They're a little like the Pittsburgh Steelers now this way, where you've been good enough that you are not getting anywhere near a lottery pick. So you're drafting in the 20s. And look, it's hard to find good players in the NBA in your 20s. That's why the lottery is the lottery. But so then you try to go get it done through free agency dollars, but then that pushes you into the apron. Then that limits who you can trade for. I mean, this is all the problem where you don't have the big draft capital built up. Like again, this is why losing Murray for that year that he blew his knee out was so. You finally got Gordon, you got Joker, you got this group together, and Murray blows his knee. And honestly, that should have been a prime champion. Not only the end of that playoff, but the year after should have been a prime championship.
That was that was 2 postseasons in a whole year.
Yeah, that you didn't have it.
Cost you. Yeah, that's a good point.
OKC's not dealing with that. None of their dudes have been hurt for that. So San Antonio right now is not dealing with that. Hi, El.
That's a great point. I didn't even thought about that, but you're absolutely right on that. Well, you've not had a significant draft in 3 years.
No, you haven't had a dude that comes in there and you know he's playing for you.
Yeah, at some time or another, and that's tough, and that's tough. Yeah, I guess I hear so many rumors. One of the worst things, and I know Sandy Clough and I used to talk about this all the time, but one of the worst things to do if you're a general manager is fall in love with your players.
Yeah, like the Rockies do.
Yeah. And we were talking, and Sandy, some general manager said, what you're going to have to do inevitably, you might as well do immediately. Right. But too many general managers. I think Tim Connelly was like that. I think Calvin Booth was like that. If rumors are true, they had many moments to trade Jalen Pickett to get some other people, including the year that Ian Malone started the fallout. Then you could have signed Gillespie, who, oh, by the way, is playing pretty good right now. Be a nice backup point guard here right now, wouldn't he? And they just, I think if you got a player, listen, I knew a general manager had to trade a guy because he was a distraction in the locker room, and the team couldn't stand him. General manager takes him out to dinner. Why? You want the guy to like you? You're a general manager. He can like me, not like me. Hey, thanks for everything you did here, man. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you Kelly's number. She's going to get you in charge of the travel you need. Movers and all that stuff comes into the thing. We'll work with the NBA movers. We're good, blah, blah, blah. Man, I appreciate your time. Wish you all the luck in the world. Go out to wherever, and kill them. Go have fun. Instead, you go,
well,
man, I'm so sorry we did this. Let's go to dinner.
Yeah, I don't know why the guy'd want to go to dinner with you first off. Secondly, I think it's funny. It goes back to what Greg Penner said at the podium that one day, end of the year. I want these guys to know that I'll give them anything they need as long as we can win. I also want them to know we're not friends. It's not a friendship. I'm the owner.
That's what it's got to
be. I'm giving you what you need because I want a trophy. That's it. Period. End of story.
If I had a knock on Tim Connelly, that would be my knock on Tim. And I think Calvin, was too prideful with some of his picks to sit there and say, Jalen Pickett, God bless him, but he's not a make or break. He's not a guy to your last hill to fight on with a head coach over. he's not that. That ain't the hill you die on.
Right.
And I know there was other things, but that's almost like a hill that he died on, wasn't it? Because that was the bone of contention with he and Malone. Um, that ain't a hill to die on, dog. You don't die. In my opinion, unless the coach just absolutely hates Roger Staubach, and you're like, no, this kid's outstanding. Unless very rarely are there players' heels you're going to die on. Now,
Right.
I got a wild hair and said, "Listen, we got to get Kel McCarr out of here. That guy, I can't stand this kid. He turned it over too much on the defensive end. We got to get him out of here. I can't stand him." And then you start shrinking his shifts and blah 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 blah. Then guess what? You know what you do next? See you later, Betsy. Thanks for the cup. Appreciate you.
You know what you just described, don't you? Dan Reeves and John Elway.
Exactly.
Dan Reeves called up Washington, had a deal in place. Pat Pullen stepped in and said, no, goodbye. Thank you for being my coach.
You take a generational quarterback because you don't like him because he's a gunslinger and he's not happy throwing it 14 times a game and
he's tired of watching the running back run up the backside of the left tackle and get a yard, so he's in 2nd and 9 every time.
Yeah. But I think you said it best, but I've stolen it. When John Elway left the NFL and retired, he led the league in comeback victories. I believe come from behind fourth quarter overtime victories. Well, guess why? Because he had to rescue Dan Reeves' ass off, for about 8 years.
Yeah, last right? 5 minutes, like, hey, go win it, whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, that means we fix it. So yeah, listen. Long story short, Avs are going to win it this year. I just have a burning feeling on that. I think they are. McFarland and Sakic have done something right. And you've got 2 goalies that are 1A and 1B. And, if one gets hotter than the other one, you'll roll with him. And I think they've got a good chemistry in their little room. You can add another center or whatever you want to add, fine. Improve the power play a little bit for the postseason, and I think they win a cup this year. I really, really do. Oh, by the way, Dallas is playing pretty good again, but I think you can win a cup. Nuggets, if everybody's 100% healthy, they can fight for an NBA championship. If they're not, they're going to be fighting uphill for the length of the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like what Kulak's already brought. He's gotten a little rough with some people tonight. The guy they traded for Gerard for, another veteran defenseman. I just kind of like it. Away we go. See what happens. All right. My voice is had enough for the day. I'm going to go try to get it fixed. We've spent an hour together. We'll do it again. All right. What the hell's you got Monday, Tuesday, back to back, right?
No, I think I'm off Tuesday, aren't I?
Yeah, then it's Wednesday. I know you got 3 and 4 days again.
Yeah,
so it must be Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, yeah.
And then I think we're like almost like that's the second one of these. I think it's like the 17th. We're finally done with all this crap, and then you get a couple days between each game.
At the end of the year, Denver will, I believe, play more back-to-backs than anybody in the league.
And I don't doubt it.
Once they added that snow game with Memphis, I think that put them over to first place.
Fantastic. And you're so happy to fly up, fly down.
Hey, I flew home. You know what I'm talking about? Utah. That the closest trip we got?
Yeah, it has to be, right?
7:00 game. You know what I got? What time I laid my head down on the pillow last time when I got home?
3 a.m.
1:45. 1:45 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, then you're doing all right.
No, dude, you're thinking 7. You leave at 11. You get here at 12. But there's always something.
Always something. Hey, you just be happy they didn't go to overtime.
Yeah. I was thinking we had a chance for a while too.
Come on now, look. You know you like that hat. The Winter Rose.
Did you just get that one? Is that a new one?
I've had it for like 3 weeks. But you got to find the right time to wear it.
The St. Patty's hats?
I've already got one.
I was looking at one.
Do it. Just do it. It's 20% off today. You better go get it today.
I have been wearing my Christmas one around a little bit lately.
Are you seeing yourself in the camera? Is that really the best angle?
No, but I'm tired. My back hurts. See,
That's
look
why we're
at me.
saying goodnight. We're
Look,
saying goodnight.
I got my St. Andrews posters up here. Boom, boom, boom. Changed the background a little bit. I look pretty good,
I'm up in my room.
but my back hurts. All right, here I'm gonna get up. I'll show you something. I'm gonna say goodnight to the people of Denver and Oklahoma City. I'd like to say hello to Oklahoma City because unlike Andy, I could live there, but I
Great.
like
All you slappies can go have a Mickey Mantle steakhouse and call it a day.
Oklahoma. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Oh.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that it's up or the fact that it's up and it's lit. I'm beginning to think it's you, not Julia. I think it's you,
Say
Peter
goodnight.
Pan.
Say goodnight, Andy.
Good night, Christmas Town.